This is Emerson Royale, considered to be the best right back in the history of football, even better than Cafu. Today we make him a forward and make him the best player in the world. This is Emerson Royale's comeback. Here he is, of course, coming in at a 73 overall. We are going to have to improve that drastically. And of course, to do that, we need to get a load of training in for Emerson Royale. Kicking off Emerson Royale's first game as a right winger, and we are up against Torino, of course, coming on as a substitute. And we started off exactly how you would have thought, just messing everything up, missing shots, awful bits of dribbling that are just way too easy for the defender. Even getting a very good chance like this and going for an overhead kick just sums up Emerson Royale at right wing. Although later on in the game, Emerson Royale managed to win the ball back, getting through one-on-one with the keeper, and surprisingly, he managed to slot it home, hitting the top of the net in what was an unbelievable finish for him. Unfortunately though, Torino did get through, and David Zapata made an unbelievable header to equalise the game at 1-1. But overall, it was, to be fair to Emerson Royale, a pretty good game for him. Of course, scoring his first goal and walking away with a very, very impressive 9.3 rating in his first game. And just to top it off, he walks away with the man of the match. Second game of the season, as we did come up against Parma, and right wing might be very suited to Emerson Royale, as he did get through and he finished the ball lovely to make it 2-1 for AC Milan, and actually picking up the winner here. Third game for Emerson Royale, and we did come up against Lazio, still not being used in the starting 11 as we are still a substitute. This though was not a very good game for Emerson Royale and AC Milan, as we did concede a penalty where they did make it 1-1, and Emerson just not getting involved in this game at all, as of course the game did end in a boring 1-1 draw. 4 games in though, and AC Milan are actually doing pretty impressive in the league, as they are currently sat in second place, and Emerson Royale is already up to a 74 overall, also grabbing a pretty impressive 3 goals in 6 appearances in the Serie A. Overall though, 3 goals in 10 appearances in total. He definitely could be doing better, and the media is definitely not impressed with him at the minute. Although it was a game up against Bayer Leverkusen where of course Emerson Royale came on as a substitute, where he would impress, managing to get through and managing to squeeze this goal in somehow. Don't know how he done it, but he did score, of course, to make it 2-0 for AC Milan. Later on, he did try to get through. It did get tackled though, but Chukwueze won it back, and he did slot it home to make it 3-0. Emerson though was not finished there, as he did want to impress even more with a lovely burst of pace to make it past Jonathan Tah to put the final nail in the coffin at 4-0. And that is how the game would end, and Emerson Royale definitely making a statement, hopefully getting into the starting 11. Halfway through the season now, and AC Milan have dropped down a little bit, currently sat in 5th place. We are of course still in the Super Cup, where we face Juventus in the semi-final. The Champions League is also going pretty well, as we are sat in 7th place. Emerson though definitely improving, as he is now up to a respectable 77 overall. Still only 5 goals in 27 appearances with 0 assists. Definitely not the best, but we do have to remember it is his first season playing right wing. Moving on though, and of course we do have the semi-final of the Super Cup against Juventus, and we do get past them, smashing them 3-2. That of course puts us into the final, where we come up against Atalanta. Unfortunately though, it was not meant to be for us, as there was only 1 goal in it, and it did come from Atalanta, which came from poor defending, where they did manage to make it 1-0, and that was how it ended, as AC Milan barely really even put up a fight. Having to move on though, and we are into the round of 16 of the Coppa Italia, although it is another awful result, as we did lose 9-8 on penalties. The round of 16 of the Champions League is a tough one, as we come up against Bayern Munich. We do lose the first leg though, 2-1. The second leg though is very impressive from AC Milan, as we did go through, managed to beat them 3-2 on aggregate. Into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where we come up against Leipzig. However, we do get completely obliterated in the first leg, losing 2-0. The second leg we did try our best, although it was not enough. Emerson Royale scoring late, but we did go out 4-2 on aggregate. The league has came to the last game of the season. There is 1 point between us and second place Juventus. We need to win in order to win the league. Thankfully, we did come up against Monza, although there was just 1 goal in it, and it did come from Sanchez, who scored from outside the box after getting a horrible deflection back to him. But thankfully, we did manage to win the game 1-0, which of course gave us our first trophy with Emerson Royale playing right wing. Of course, end of the season, and there is confirmation of us winning the league. Unfortunately, we did lose the Super Cup to Atalanta, just 1-0. Of course, going out very early early in the Coppa Italia to Palermo, losing 9-8 on penalties. And of course, getting knocked out of the Champions League in the quarter-finals to RB Leipzig. Emerson, though, turning into a pretty solid right winger as he is now up to an 81 overall, and his stats are all in the green, so he's looking pretty impressive. Not getting involved anywhere near as much as I would like him to, as he has only got 8 goals and 1 assist in 55 games. He definitely needs to improve on that next season. And we have, of course, been offered another contract by AC Milan, and we've got nothing else on the table, so we are going to accept it. So, of course, season number 2 starts off, and we are still at AC Milan. 4 games in, and AC Milan are currently sat in 3rd place, and Emerson Royale getting involved a lot more. 3 games in 7 appearances so far is definitely not bad at all. Halfway through the season now, and AC Milan are currently leading the way. He's currently sat in 1st place. Of course, we are into the semi-final of the Super Cup as we face Inter Milan, and the Champions League is also going very good as we are sat in 2nd place. Emerson Royale just keeps improving on his rating as he is now up to an 83 overall. Of course, still only 26 years of age, so we could get him up quite high. Doing a lot better this season as well, as he currently has the same goal contributions as he did from the whole of last season. 8 goals and 1 assist in just 26 appearances though. Moving on though, and of course we do have the semi-final of the Super Cup up against Inter Milan, and we do manage to beat them 3-1 as we get into the final again. This time though, we do come up against Juventus, and it was not the best start for AC Milan as we did go 1-0 down, with Oyarzabal scoring to make it 1-0. Although Emerson Royale was having none of that, as he did step up to a free kick, and he did manage to smash it into the back of the net to, of course, equalise at 1-1. And just to top it off, we did get through, pass it back to Sanchez, where he did smack it again into the back of the net, this time to make it 2-1 for AC Milan. And that is how it would end, as we do pick up yet another trophy with Emerson Royale. Moving on though, and we are into the round of 16 of the Coppa Italia up against Torino, and we do manage to smash them 3-1 into the quarter-finals of the Coppa Italia up against Roma, and we do manage to get past them, beating them 1-0. Back into Champions League action though, in the round of 16 we come up against Monaco, and the first leg does end at 1-1. The second leg though is a complete goal fest as we batter them 4-0. Back into Coppa Italia action though, as we do come up against Inter Milan, and the first leg goes pretty well as we beat them 1-0, and the second leg also goes pretty well, Emerson Royale scoring to beat them 2-0 on aggregate. Back into Champions League action, and it is the quarter-final where we come up against Bayer Leverkusen, and they beat us 1-0 in the first leg. In the second leg though, we did put up a massive fight as we beat them 1-0, taking it to penalties where we would beat them 3-1. That of course gets us into the semi-finals where we face Arsenal. The first leg does not go the best as they obliterate us 3-1, and the second leg means we are out as we cannot get past them. They end up beating us 5-3 on aggregate. Moving on though, and we are of course into the final of the Coppa Italia where we come up against Atalanta, and there was just 1 goal in it. It was a penalty from Vlahovic, which of course he did manage to slot home, giving us a 1-0 lead and of course a 1-0 victory, and that of course meant another trophy for AC Milan and Emerson Royale. End of the season, and this time we completely managed to obliterate the league as we did win it yet again, of course meaning another trophy for Emerson. We did of course also win the Super Cup, beating Juventus 2-1. We also managed to make it a treble as we did also win the Coppa Italia. Emerson Royale though is now up to an 86 overall, and he is starting to mean business. Those stats are starting to look pretty scary, and it of course has been a much better season for Emerson Royale, winning the treble and walking away with 21 goals and 8 assists in 60 games. Very impressive, but I definitely think we can do more. We have got a very tasty offer from Real Madrid. Of course, Emerson Royale used to play at Barcelona, but I don't think it matters. I think he will suit Real Madrid colours perfectly. So of course season 3 starts off with Emerson Royale joining Real Madrid. Of course here he is, and I'm not gonna lie, I was right. He suits these colours. He looks pretty good in a Real Madrid kit. First game of the season for Emerson Royale at Real Madrid, and we did come up against Celta Vigo, and there was just 1 goal in it, and it did come from the main man Emerson Royale, managing to defeat his man, and he did slot it into the far post, of course, to give us a 1-0 victory over Celta Vigo, and doing this signature Gareth Bale celebration in the number 11. 4 games into the season, and Real Madrid have not started the best, to be fair. Only that 1 victory at the start of the season, as they are sat in 10th place. Emerson Royale, of course, starting the season off 3 goals in 7 games. Halfway through the season, and Real Madrid have, of course, picked up form again, as they are sat in 1st place. We are, of course, into the semi-final of the Super Coppa up against Celta, and And of course, in the round of 32, as we face Getafe, the Champions League as well could be going a little bit better, as we are sat in 14th place. Emerson Royal, though, just keeps growing. He is now up to an 88 overall, looking very impressive. Although he seems to be struggling to fit in at the minute, as he's only walking away, or I say only, it's still pretty impressive. 10 goal contributions in 26 games, but he can definitely do better. Moving on though, and of course we are in the round of 32 up against Getafe, and we do just about get through, beating them 5-4 on penalties. Moving back into the semi-finals of the Supercopa as we face Celta Vigo, and it is not a good result for us as we get knocked out, losing 2-1. Moving back into the round of 16 of the Copa de España though, as we face Leganes, and it is back-to-back awful results as we get knocked out of another cup, this time losing 3-1. Moving on again though, and we are up into the round of 16 of the Champions League where we face Leipzig. Thankfully though, we do get a good result as we beat them 3-1, and in the second leg we do manage to progress as we beat them 4-1 on aggregate. Into the quarter-finals of the Champions League, and we face Manchester City, and we completely obliterate them in the first leg, beating them 4-1. Unfortunately, we have picked up a 3-week injury, which means we are going to miss that second leg, but hopefully they can get the job done, and thankfully they do, even though it was a boring 0-0 draw. Moving into the semi-finals of the Champions League as we come up against Liverpool, and thankfully we are back for this game. It's only took 2 weeks, which is good for us. And in the first leg we have drew 2-2, Emerson Royal scoring on his comeback from injury. Unfortunately, away from home though, Liverpool do manage to get the better of us, beating us 3-2 and overall 5-4 on aggregate, ending the season, and it could not have gone worse this season for Real Madrid, getting knocked out of all the cup competitions quite early and also bottling the league by 1 point to Barcelona. Emerson Royal though has not stopped growing, as he is now up to a 90 overall at 28 years of age. Again, his stats are looking very impressive and managing to fit in a little bit more, as he is walking away with 19 goals and 3 assists in 54 games. Not a bad season back in La Liga at all, really. I wasn't expecting it this season, but we did not win the Ballon d'Or, as it goes to our co-partner Vinicius Jr. And we of course got another offer from Real Madrid, and we are going to accept it. So of course season 4 starts and we are staying at Real Madrid. Halfway through the season, and Real Madrid again are leading the way. Hopefully this time we do not bottle it on the last game. Of course, still in the Supercopa, this time we come up against Real Oviedo, and still in the round of 32 of the Copa de España up against Eibar, and the Champions League is going okay as we are sat in 12th. Emerson Royal though is now up to a ridiculous 91 overall, 86 pace, 84 shooting. We can still improve a little bit, but it's definitely very good. Also a ridiculous season so far for Emerson. 15 goals and 4 assists in 27 games is huge. Of course though, the Copa de España round of 32 up against Eibar, and we do get past them, beating them 2-1. Into the semi-finals of the Supercopa up against Oviedo. This time we do get into the final, although just about, thanks to Emerson Royal beating them 3-2. And of course in the final we do come up against Barcelona, and it was a very impressive game for Emerson Royal. We started off very strong, whipping a nice ball into Mbappe, which he did manage to finish, of course, to give us a 1-0 lead. And later on, Emerson Royal would find himself through, and he did manage to put it past ter Stegen, of course, to make it 2-0 for Real Madrid. And that would be all she wrote, as it was an Emerson Royal masterclass to make it 2-0. And of course, to give himself his first trophy at Real Madrid. Moving on though, and we are of course into the round of 16 of the Copa de España. And the Copa de España does not seem to be our luck, as we lose 3-2. Moving on though, we are into the round of 16 of the Champions League where we face Bayern Munich. And the first game is just a boring 1-1 draw. The second leg is the complete opposite, as we do manage to beat them 3-1. Into the quarter-finals as we face Inter Milan. We do draw the first game though, 2-2. The second leg though, we do manage to get through as we beat them 4-2 on aggregate. Into the semi-finals, and we do come up against Barcelona. Unfortunately, we do lose the first leg though, 3-2. Thankfully though, the second leg we do show them who is who, as we beat them 4-3 on aggregate. Moving into the final of the Champions League, and Emerson Royal comes up against his former club in AC Milan. Oh no, AC Milan could be through. That is a strong start for them, but it's a nice save. Thankfully, they've still got the ball. It's into Rafael Leao. Leao dribbling through. It's a good block. Please get rid of that. You can't. Keeper. Thank you. Emerson Royal, Vlahovic, Courtois. What is he doing? Just get rid of it. Thank you. AC Milan are just all over us at the minute. Rafael Leao could be through, but Gabriel, that is an unbelievable tackle. Nice. Finney Jr. inside to Kylian Mbappe. He's got Emerson there. What a touch that is by Emerson. And Emerson manages to put it past the keeper to make it 1-0 in the 40th minute. What a goal that was. Emerson is making a lovely run. He's got Mbappe in the middle. Mbappe manages to turn his two defenders. And what a finish that is from Kylian Mbappe. What a goal to make it 2-0. It's another assist for Emerson Royal. Oh, that's a horrible ball. Leao. Oh, keeper, you should be claiming that. Courtois is having a mare this game. And he does make it 2-1. Oh, AC Milan could be on the attack here in the closing minutes. They could equalise inside Konate. Thankfully, Courtois gets a hand on it though. Frimpong back, and thankfully he misses. And there we go. The final whistle goes, and Real Madrid have managed to beat AC Milan in the final to win the Champions League 2-1. Mostly partly down to Emerson Royal. What a performance. Of course, that means another trophy, and it is the biggest one yet by far. And of course, end of the season, and that means we do walk away with the treble as we win the league by 10 points. Emerson Royal now up to an insane 92 overall, and his stats are all round looking ridiculous. And what an insane season from Emerson Royal. 47 goals and 14 assists in 62 games, making it 61 goal contributions in 62, which is just ridiculous for anybody, let alone Emerson Royal. Also managing to walk away with the golden boot, beating Kylian Mbappe by 3 goals. The question is Emerson Royal currently the best player in the world? And to prove that, we are going to go to have the Ballon d'Or, and we do. Emerson Royal manages to pick up the Ballon d'Or, stating his place in world football as the best. This might have just been the craziest video yet.